Welcome once again to my medical journey series. This is your host Mukandarobi, and my guest here I have Dr. Malambo Mushabati. Dr. Malambo, welcome.
Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you very much. So the most frequently asked questions, more especially for medical students, is the inspiration, why they got the inspiration to pursue their career in medicine. And to you, Dr. Malambo, what would you say really inspired you to pursue a career in medicine?
Okay, so that's an interesting question. I actually developed an interest to pursue a career in medicine back in secondary school. So we went on a school trip back in secondary school, and on that trip we traveled from Mungu to Lusaka. It was sponsored by Christian Brothers. So when we got here, we got to do a lot of activities. But the highlight for me was when we actually got to visit a hospice, certain hospice here in Lusaka. I can't remember the name because it's over 10 years ago. So when we visited that hospice, I got to see, terminally ill patients, and I think from that moment, it sparked an interest. It sparked, a desire to pursue a career that would enable me to help sick people. So I think in a nutshell, that's what I would say inspired me.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. This is a very inspirational story, and it is a story that actually really interesting. And you find that most of the people, when you ask them what the inspiration was, maybe they will say parents told them to pursue a career in medicine. But for Dr. Malambo, it's a very different story, which is very inspirational. And Dr. Malambo,
Yes.
your journey in medicine. So the motivation that you started with,
Yes.
during the time you started this journey, and by the time you completed everything, has the motivation been the same, or maybe there have been some changes?
I think it has evolved actually. When I first got into med school, I thought medicine was all about just treating patients. Yeah, but with the little experience I have from med school, I realized that there's actually so much more to medicine than just treating patients. And I think there are a lot of other avenues that one can pursue in medicine aside from mainstream clinical practice. So I think it has evolved with time, because at the moment I'm actually also considering deviating to other fields, but that are still related to medicine. So it has evolved. I'll say it has evolved with time actually.
All right, thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. The motivation never remains the same. So as you journey into this medical journey, there's a lot of things that actually going to change as experienced by the Dr. Malambo. Dr. Malambo, can you share with us a clinical experience that you have had in medical journey that has actually impacted your understanding in a specific medical field?
Okay, so actually I've had quite a number of profound experiences in my clinical years of study, but I think I would just want to talk about, I would just love to talk about one particular experience that left an impact on me. I've had several, but there's one that I would love to share with you. So this particular one, I encountered it when I was at casualty. So I was at casualty. It was a relatively, it wasn't a busy day that day, casualty. And we're learning, and all of a sudden, people were being wheeled in. People that were involved in a road traffic accident were wheeled in. It was a mass casualty, and there was commotion all over. And I wasn't used to that. I had never experienced that before. So it actually allowed me, or accorded me, an opportunity to reevaluate. Okay. So it actually made me realize that the practical aspect of medicine is also very important. It's equally important. And as much as we study hard, as students, it's also important to make sure our clinical acumen is on point. And so I think in a nutshell, that's the most profound clinical experience I've had.
And for you ladies and gentlemen that don't know, this is the same doctor who has achieved so much. He has graduated with a distinction. So there's a lot of inspirations and a lot of motivation we can get from him. So talking about motivation and inspirations, I assume and I know that there might be challenges that you have faced during your medical journey. How did you manage?
So the major challenge I've actually encountered in my journey in medical school is one of trying to balance out my social life and academics. But I think I have a strong support system, and I think that's why I didn't have a very hard time to balance up these two aspects of my life. So I think basically that's what I'd say.
Yeah, I think most of us would agree that balancing social life and academic, it's one of the most challenging things in medicine, and it's not different from what the doctors has actually shared. Doc, these challenges that you've talked about, how are they shaped your character as a person?
I think first and foremost, the challenges that I faced in medical school. I think one important virtue I've actually picked up from all these challenges is that resilience. You know, I think I've become more resilient, and I think that's one virtue that medical practitioner is supposed to possess. So I think in a nutshell.
Thank you very much. Get that point, ladies and gentlemen. Resilience is the most important thing in this challenge. So we are concluding, Doc, and I just want this last question. In your class,
Yes.
so I'm sure there are ladies in your class, right?
Yes.
So who do you describe as the hottest girl? Sorry to use this language. Who do you describe as the hottest?
Am I supposed to? Can I pass on that question?
No, Doc, you can
Am
just
I allowed to pass on that question?
Okay.
I think I'll pass on
Okay.
that.
No, we respect your opinion. Otherwise, thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. See you next time.